Average U.S. woman 18 to 30 has 6 to 12 lifetime partners. 20 to 25% have 15 plus. And men say they overwhelmingly will not marry a woman or have a long-time partner if she has more than 6 to 7 before he meets her.
Wow.
Let's start off with an interesting topic. So, I guess we know that young men are very unenthused about the current standing of young women. You can see it in podcasters, you can see it in internet personalities.
That's true.
I've even spoken with a young man who's a family member and asked him why he doesn't date. And he was very clear. He said he doesn't believe that the young women are good. He outright said he thinks too many of them are whores, and he just doesn't believe that for him as a Christian young man, there's a woman currently there that he's been able to find
Yeah.
that would suit his needs for dating.
Okay.
People like Nick Fuentes, Myron Gaines, Walter Weeks, Nick Adams, Jonathan Haywood. They all go over the same topic in depth.
Yes, they do.
They really discuss the bad situation with the dating pool for young men.
Hmm.
And so I just wanted to. I guess I'll start off with as men, we have a lot of prominent males that we can look to for guidance. We had Charlie Kirk, who, was a great man who could teach you how to
Yeah.
have a lasting relationship, treat your wife well, how your wife should treat you, how you should treat people in the world.
Hmm.
We have a plethora. And I was under the impression that young women did not have the same resources that we have. So I
Hmm.
got into doing some research. The only name I could really come up with on my own was like Caitlin Bennett. She pops up on my feed a lot. I was like, she seems like a strong one. I couldn't think of any other names. So
Okay.
I guess I'd like to start by, giving a list for, parents or young women out there. I doubt we have a lot of young women listeners, but, maybe even parents who are just looking for a place to have their children really
Hmm.
have good views and morality and some people they could look up to.
Right.
So I just want to give a few names that I was able to come up with. And now that I've read the names, it makes sense. They all popped up. I kind of remember them. But
Okay.
we have Allie Beth Stuckey. She is with Blaze Media. She is New York best selling author of You're Not Enough and That's Okay, and Toxic Empathy.
Toxic.
She critiques birth control, antidepressants, toxic empathy, promotes holistic wellness, health, overall health. She's an evangelical, so she's always
Okay.
preaching with scripture in her episodes. Maybe not always, but frequently going through scripture.
Okay.
She has a large summit every year in Dallas, a Dallas Women's Summit that she hosts with 6,700 attendees. So the movement's larger than I realized.
Okay.
Another name that came up was Alex Clark.
Alex
Uh,
Clark.
and she's with Turning Point USA, focuses on natural health for women, warning on microplastics, vaccines, birth control, promotes fertility awareness, clean eating, homeschooling, anti-modern disease strategies, and also she integrates a lot of biblical teaching into her teachings as well. So
Okay.
that's another great one. Brett Cooper at the Daily Wire, who's also a Turning Point USA contributor.
Yes, I know Brett
You've
Cooper.
probably seen a good bit of her. She speaks on mental health crisis a lot, and how women can possibly find some value in having a home and marriage and kids.
That's great.
She promotes exercise, nutrition, a lot of the same things the other women are promoting.
Okay.
She also really encourages church involvement with young women. So that's really cool with her. She's one of the largest people for turnouts with the TPUSA events actually.
Oh, wow.
So she really kills it. So it's a great resource for you if you have young women in your life who might need some guidance or you want to share some videos with them.
Hmm.
I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll give some more names. There's Isabel Brown. You got Riley Gaines, which a lot of people probably only know Riley through the sports.
Yes, I've
Um,
definitely heard of Riley
but
Gaines.
she has a pretty big TikTok now, or a pretty big TikTok now. She has a pretty big listeners on X, over 1 million followers.
Wow.
She's a Christian woman. So those are some great names that you guys could possibly point them in the roots of.
Hmm.
And I guess this movement, there are also historical foundations in the movement for helping women. So I'd like to mention those too. If you wanted to look back at older people, Phyllis Schlafly.
Yes, I heard of her.
Yep. She's a great one. Beverly at LaHaye, which I've never heard of, but she's been promoting Christian values and for women in America since 1979.
Oh, wow.
Um, Good news is, well, I'm not going to just plant bad news first. Let's start off with some good news. Since the 2024 election, actually, post Roe, we've seen it between a five, studies are showing between a 5 and 10% rightward shift in young women,
Really? Wow.
and that's totally unexpected. I thought it was the opposite.
Is that across all generations, or
Um,
a
I
certain
it
generation?
says women 18 to 29, and that's a Wall Street Journal.
So more of that Gen Z, later
Yeah,
millennial type of.
yeah.
Okay.
That's reported by Wall Street Journal in November 2025. That was taken.
Okay.
Driven by disillusionment with girl bosses and feminism's loneliness epidemic is what they're equating it to.
Gotcha.
So those are some good topics. Some good women that good women
Yeah,
that
because I
the ladies
think
can look up to.
the ages between, I would say, 30 in that 30 to 50 range did take on that girl boss type of mentality. So
And it really has not worked out well for them. Their happiness is at an all-time low.
yeah,
All-time low statistically. They're telling people themselves. Studies are saying they are very unhappy.
and a lot of antidepressant usage as well too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So we can get into this a little bit. The average US woman 18 to 30 has 6 to 12 lifetime partners. 20 to 25% have 15 plus, and men say they overwhelmingly will not marry a woman or have a long-time partner if she has more than 6 to 7 before he meets her.
Wow.
So that's, I mean, you can't hate a young man for feeling that way. We know what it does to the brain, and we know what it does to young men's brain too. So
Yeah. Over
uh,
sexualization is not good for anyone.
absolutely not. It's really, and then you can move into women that age, on average, have $34,000 of student loan debt when they meet a
Wow.
man. Most men, or many men, they're saying say this makes them unwifeable.
Wow.
Unwifeable, which $34,000 of student loan debt's not crazy.
That's not too crazy.
No, I had much more than that at one time.
I remember.
Oh man, I had a lot more than that.
I
We
remember.
we won't touch on that. I was not the smartest kid
There's
when I was
also
a kid.
another interesting study. I don't know if you ever heard about it, that the more sexual partners a woman has, the less they can connect with a partner in the future. So that's a very interesting topic too. If you ever want to look
Absolutely.
that up.
I've dove deep into that topic before, actually.
Uh-huh.
And when a man, I don't know, are we allowed to say this on YouTube?
I believe so.
We just go do it. When a man, you know, inside there,
Yeah.
that DNA is actually shared inside of the woman.
Yeah.
Every single man that does, you share his DNA.
Hmm.
And that comes back, we don't know exactly the effects of that yet. But if it's staying there, it's having some sort of effect on the human body for
It
sure.
definitely is. It's some type of connection that you're gonna remain with that individual by having that connection with them, by having doing that act with them. So it's a very interesting topic.
You're engaged, I'm married. What do you think one of the main things to keep a relationship happy is?
Well, I would say first you want to keep God first in your
Absolutely.
relationship, because that'll help keep it together and keep it strong. Um,
What about compromise?
yeah, compromise.
How you have to
Compromise is a big one
compromise
too.
every day.
Yeah, you
Every
do
day
have to
you have to
compromise.
compromise with your partner.
You definitely do.
So let's see here. They had another survey here. 41% of men under 30 say women their age are not willing to compromise on anything,
On anything.
on any topic, in
Wow.
any way.
Wow.
So there's another reason young men are not really interested in young women. They're disillusioned with the dating scene.
And
They're
see, that's where that girl boss mentality from feminism really came in at, that they want it their way and no other way. They want to lead with everything. And even the Bible points to that, because even the Bible says the man is supposed to be the leader in the relationship. So it's crazy that a lot of women don't want to compromise when it comes to the guy they're dating or the guy they're married to. It's just insane to me.
How about this? 42% of women 20 to 39 are obese.
Oh, wow.
Of course, men are disillusioned.
Wow.
So bad attitudes paired with bad looks, paired with bad health.
Yeah.
People who are unhealthy don't reproduce children. Ultimately, when we're seeking a partner, whether we know it or not, whether we admit it or not,
Definitely.
we're seeking reproduction
Right.
innately.
Right.
Innately, it's in our biology. There's just no
It
way
is.
around it. So that's another thing that's hurting them. But on the other side, 9% of women, only 9% of women say they would date someone who is on the opposite end of the spectrum of them politically. So
Only 9%.
only 9%. Yeah, so that's quite wild. So I guess another thing that I know I'm not allowed to say this word on YouTube, but it's called it's commonly referred to as the divorce RA blank E, you know? Uh,
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, that's a risk, and it essentially comes down to men getting screwed when marriages don't work out.
Got you.
50-50 split of whether or not he was the biggest provider and was working the hardest.
And it really comes down to that no fault divorce. And you
Yes.
know who implemented that?
Who?
It was really one of his biggest mistakes because he was a great president, Ronald Reagan.
Ronald
He
Reagan.
he entered he implemented no fault divorce, and I think later on in life he actually admitted that he regretted doing that because it caused a lot of problems when it came to American relationships. But yeah, he did
I
invent
think
it.
a lot of Ronald Reagan's beliefs and things he pushed for were good in the moment,
Yeah,
but looking back, we can now see they've been detrimental. Not saying he was a horrible president,
yeah, he
but
wasn't a horrible
I
president.
think us as conservatives frequently become too enamored with him.
Yeah, because he is like at pinnacle of a conservative president, but he
Absolutely.
did make a lot of mistakes though.
Let's see. Moving on. Moving on. So we're gonna stick with the same topic, but um, I guess I would like to touch on this for young men and women. Getting laid is not the same as being fulfilled.
Yeah, it's definitely
You're
not.
not getting fulfillment. And actually, having casual sex with someone is a way to not find fulfillment.
Mhm.
Um, Studies show that there is a 30% rise in dopamine and producing happy feelings after sex
Mhm.
for women and men.
Wow.
But within 30 minutes after finishing, there's a 50% drop in the same hormonal responses.
Oh
So
wow.
the unhappiness, it's not even tomorrow when you think about what you did or the day after or weeks after. It is immediate.
So it's kind of like a drug effect.
Yes, it's absolutely like a drug effect. And I think a lot of it has to do with people seeking constant validation. They're unhappy with themselves.
Yeah.
They're trying to find worth and value inside of a sexual partner or a sexual experience. You
Hmm.
see these young men all the time. Oh, bro, I hooked up with this. It's gay. It's gay. Stop bragging about your sexual conquest. It's gay. Don't do
Yeah,
it.
it doesn't make sense why they brag about that.
So I gotta, I myself even had some problems with, being maybe a little too promiscuous when I was younger.
Hmm.
And I went through a long, long process of gaining that back. I was bodybuilding at the time.
Hmm.
I would do those 6 months of celibacy with clean eating
Hmm.
and I wouldn't even talk to women and I'd only talk to friends and follow my hobbies and
I remember
read.
that,
I was really intense about it. And
and that's when you progress the most.
I had amazing progress. I got myself into church and all these different things, but
Hmm.
I devised and went through a bunch of studies on some methods that if you feel like you've gone through this and you had too many sexual partners and you feel like it may have corrupted your brain, you're not permanently damaged.
No.
But if you do not take steps to overcome, you're not going to get past it. You're going to continue to keep doing it over and over because you're going to seek the validation, seek the dopamine spike,
Hmm.
try to feel your self-worth. So I want to go through this little way that people can actually find happiness
Okay.
after. Oh, before we get into that, actually, that we had the mood crash, the negative effects. The crash, like I said, the crash is bigger.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, let's just go ahead and we don't need to talk about the 23-year-old girl with 40 bodies talking about how all men suck. We can go over that. We can skip that.
She sucks.
Yeah. But so does the guy doing the same thing. You
Yeah.
suck. You
Yeah.
suck.
Both genders doing that suck. Definitely.
You're hurting yourself. Maybe it feels good for, the 5 minutes that you last Playboy, but but it's you're damaging yourself. So
Definitely.
if you've experienced these things, I'd like to give young men and young women a plan of action on how they can get through it, how they can overcome these things that are damaging them inside. I know you feel
Okay.
it. If you're experiencing this, I know you feel it. If you know people who are going through it, maybe this will help you, and maybe you can provide this information to them, and it can help get through.
Hmm.
So phase one, I called stop the bleeding.
Okay.
And that's essentially to get through the hard part of breaking those bad habits.
Mm.
And 30 to 90 days, no sex, complete detox, no porn, block your exes, block your booty calls, If you need to, go tell your friends, just like I would do to you. I'd be like, hey, man, I'm off the market. I'm not going out seeking women
Mm-hmm.
for 3 months. Let your friends know so they can support you in it and help you get through it.
Mm-hmm.
The cold turkey is the way to go. It lowers anxiety between 40 and 60% in men
Wow, that's a
going
lot.
cold turkey. And that's within the first 30 days, their anxiety can be reduced by 50 or so percent. They're going
Wow,
to need to
that's
get
really a lot.
daily sunlight, 60 to 90 minutes of intense exercise, whether it be weightlifting or hit or whatever it may be.
Okay.
But get out there and exercise. It'll get your dopamine flowing again, start getting that happiness flowing again.
Right.
Just get your baseline up. And then sleep. We all know how important sleep is to recover from anything. And
Mm.
this is trauma. This is trauma. And in order to recover from trauma, you need to get your sleep. So
Definitely.
seven and a
Sleep is
half to
important.
9 hours of sleep. Get that every night because 70% of treatment-resistant depression is associated with sleep deprivation.
Wow.
So that's
I didn't know
huge.
that.
You need a blackout room, no screens 1 hour before bed. Um, cut alcohol and weed to zero. Um,
Yeah.
I saw some.
Now that it truly is the devil, alcohol and weed.
Yes,
I
it
mean
is.
that definitely knocks a man off his purpose.
I had alcohol problems when I was younger. I smoked pot for almost all of my life since I was probably 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I recently quit,
Mm-hmm.
and I can say after a week, because it's only been a week. I'll be honest, guys. It's only been a week since I quit using any form of THC. My brain is firing. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, my production is through the roof. My happiness is through the roof. My personal relationships are
Through the
getting
roof.
better. So you can't hang on to that and start this process of recovery. It's just not going to work, guys.
No, it won't.
I did see some studies that were like, oh, you could try kratom or kava as a short-term crutch. The
No.
whole point of this is to go through something difficult and make yourself stronger. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't recommend that. Let's move on to phase two. So phase two is going to be predominantly focused on rebuilding your own personal self-worth without having
Okay.
it attached to sex. It might take 3 months, it might take 12 months. Anywhere in that period is very normal.
Mm.
Um, some practical things that you can do to aid in that discomfort, because
Mm-hmm.
discomfort does make us stronger. You can go the Joe Rogan method, do an ice plunge, take a cold shower in the
Ice
morning.
plunge. Great ice
Start
plunge.
start your day off with a 5 minute cold shower. It is going to make you
Have
a
you ever tried
stronger
an ice
person.
plunge?
Oh yeah,
I've never tried one before. It
I
looks
love them.
painful.
I love them. I love them. But I tell you what. um, yeah, it's so that helps a lot. It retrains your brain how to tolerate pain without external relief, I
Mm.
guess is the best way to put it. So,
Okay.
you know, you might be feeling the pain of not loving yourself enough, and you need some relief, and maybe that's why you return to all this promiscuity and sexual activity and sexual deviancy. Um, Put yourself in some pain.
Yeah.
As Charlie Kirk, I got a quote here from him: "Purpose is the only long-term dopamine source that you never crash from. Having
Mm.
purpose in your life." So
That's true.
good thing for young people to do. Pick something that's hard and master it. So whether you want to learn jujitsu, Muay Thai, if you want to become a weightlifter, if there's a business that you want to start, invest yourself into something that is going to make you a better person, and put 20 hours a week into it. Really
Okay.
focus on it. Don't make it easy on yourself. This is a serious thing, guys, and it's affecting the whole country, and it's going to affect the future of our country in a negative way as well.
Yeah, because we have a ton of weak men now.
A ton of
Like
weak
a
men.
ton.
Our birth rate is gone. We're
Yeah,
at the
birth rate
lowest
is
birth
gone.
rate in the history of America.
Yeah,
We're going to see society fail because of this if we don't get it quickly changed.
we will.
For sure. Another big thing, get yourself in church. 1 or 2 times a week. Maybe do church once a week. Maybe have a study group with a close friend. Um, all things can be fixed through God, but also these other things are going to help you. But that has to be an integral part of your recovery. It
Hmm.
must be.
And if you can't make it to church, at least take some time out, maybe on the weekend or Saturday or Sunday, and sit down and read the Bible and kind of get a connection going with God.
Absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely. Yeah, but doing it as a group also helps you stay accountable.
Yeah, that's
Helps
true.
you,
That's true.
having that accountability is important. Very, very important. So, faith practice actually, 2 to 3 times at post promiscuity, 2 to 3 times higher recovery rate if you're
Mm.
based in faith.
Oh wow,
So that's huge.
that is huge.
And also, Shame thrives in secrecy.
Mm.
You know, if you're ashamed of something, you might be likely to keep doing it. Whether you're a young man who's addicted to porn, you know, who's gonna go tell someone they're addicted to porn? It's embarrassing.
And we don't have shame anymore in our society, so
We don't.
that's another big problem too.
Go to a man you look up to. Go to your pastor. Go to your. I guess your father would be a weird one on that. But find someone with integrity and morality that you could trust, and go to them and be honest. You be
Mm.
honest with them. That's a great way to help push you past it. That really puts it in the forefront of your mind. You're embarrassed about it. You need
Mm.
to feel that embarrassment a little bit. Like I said, this isn't supposed to be an easy recovery. This is going to
Yeah,
change your life for the better.
yeah, that's
So,
not easy recovery.
so tell somebody your worst story. Tell somebody your most promiscuous worst story,
Mm.
and feel bad about it because you should. Um, you know, financial stress is another thing to touch on. You really need to focus on getting some financial stress in this 3 to 9 months out of your way. It causes such a higher level in anxiety,
Hmm.
and that anxiety will cause you to possibly relapse. So it's
Mm.
important to get that. So whether you need to get a second job to get your income up, whether you need to move to a different area to have more opportunity in jobs, whatever the
Okay,
need, you need to. That's a great one.
that is a great one.
All right, let's move on to phase three. What did I call this one?
Phase three.
Okay, phase three is you're going to begin to re-enter into relationships, but you're
Okay.
going to do it in the proper way. You're not going to do it like you did before. You're not going to be meeting a girl at the bar or whatever, nothing like that.
Mm.
The most important thing with phase three, I'd say, is when you meet someone, you're going to want to vet them. You're trying to get out of the trenches. You don't want to be with someone who's still in the trenches.
Right.
So when you're, your first 3 dates, maybe you ask questions, which are the totally legit questions if you're looking for a partner, like how do you feel about people with a lot of partners,
Hmm.
or how do you feel about those with a high body count? These are questions you should be asking people when you're starting to date again,
Definitely,
because
that's
you,
true.
you you don't want to get drugged back down,
Yeah, you don't,
and you
because
also
somebody can bring you back down.
right, and then you also don't want to get used by someone who's only using you to boost their own self-confidence back up, because
Right.
then it's going to hurt your confidence again and tear you back down.
Is it?
So I
That's
think
true.
that's a really important one. Let's see. No sex exclude no sex at all. 3 to 6 months in the first half of this relationship. You want a good girl? You got to treat her like a good girl. You got to be a good man. You want a good man? You got to be a good girl. You got to treat people right. You got to know. You got to live by what you're trying to get. If you're not living in the way to get what you want, which is ultimately happiness and satisfaction in a relationship,
Hmm.
and there's probably a lot of people out there that, oh, I don't want a relationship. I just like sleeping around. You guys are losers. You don't love yourselves. And if you really look inside, I'm not saying this to be mean because I have been there, but you're struggling internally, and you know this. You know it.
Hmm.
So that's a big one, is the no sex. You mentioned the oxytocin bonding earlier, which
Yes, I did.
yeah. So that I had a little bit written here. If you delay it, there's no oxytocin bonding. So you're
Oh,
gonna weed out those people who are seeking that, who are addicted to having that fill.
I
So
see.
that's really important.
Okay.
Um, some notes on that. Every year delay past 30 cuts marital happiness by 5%, along with
Wow.
an increased rise of 5% of divorce.
Oh, wow.
So that's huge. Um, if you're dating, you should be dating with marriage as your explicit goal. You don't want a best friend who you're not have, you want to build a life with someone. You want someone you can trust. You want someone you can depend on. You want
Yes.
someone who can give you advice in those hard times as a man when you might not be emotionally strong enough. And as a woman, maybe when you're feeling a little overly emotional, might need some grounding, whatever the case.
Hmm.
But that's really important as well. Surround yourself with other couples, successful couples.
That's a good
So
one.
as you guys are starting your relationship together, that's really important for me and my wife. We didn't do it so much at first, but as we've grown together, we found that our growth has really started to accelerate the more we hang out with successful
But
couples.
I do say you are who you hang around, so it
Absolutely.
rubs off on you.
You
Mhm.
show me your top 3 friends, I'll show you who you are.
Yes, that's the saying. That's how it goes. Mhm.
So your social circle is the number one predictor of long-term happiness. Are you hanging out with depressed people? Or are you hanging out with people who are sleeping around to find self-validation? Got to
Mm.
get them out of your circle.
Okay.
So, these I kind of built this based on a lot of different studies I'd found and information from psychiatrists, psychologists that I'd found. So
Hmm.
I do want to show people who've used very similar methods to this, just to give you guys some success stories, so you don't think it's fake. These they didn't strictly use what I've come up with here, but they use some similar program.
Similar. Okay.
26-year-old man, won't put a name on it. 80 plus body count, heavily suicidal. He did 14 months of monk mode, moved to Texas, joined an Orthodox parish. He is now married to he's 28 years old.
28.
He's now married to a 22-year-old virgin, or she was a virgin, but now they're married. And is he expecting his first kid? He owns a successful business, and he has said that he doesn't battle with depression anymore
Really?
at all.
That's great.
At all. Me personally, I've gotten rid of these things. I battled with zero depression when I was younger. Massive issues
Massive.
with depression. You
Massive.
remember? I'd build my business up, super strong, mighty. Get
Yeah, I do
depressed,
remember that. And it go right back down.
crash my business just because I was depressed.
Hmm.
This one isn't a personal individual we know, but I found this instance. A 29-year-old woman, OnlyFans passed, 50 plus bodies, converted to Catholicism, did 18 months of celibacy, moved back home with her parents temporarily. She is now engaged to an engineer she met at Latin Mass.
Wow.
So not quite the success story fully yet, but working there.
But working there. Yeah, she's getting there.
Yeah, absolutely. And this person is, I'm not going to say what he does, but he is a coach, a local coach, 32-year-old, sold everything, became a monk for 2 years, and is now married with twins.
Oh, wow.
Runs a men's Christian retreat that's very successful.
Hmm.
So follow the steps, guys, and you can have success, you can have happiness again, you can have self-validation again. This is really important to me because I battled with it, and I would like to see people free from this. It's not something we have to battle with, and the sooner we
That's
try
true.
to move through it, the sooner we can be happy again.
Very true.
Some books for the guys. No more Mr. Nice Guy, the Rational Male. That'd be a great book to start with. Will teach you how to rationalize, deal with your emotions, but also how to be firm in your convictions.
Okay.
Meditations by Marcus Aurelius.
I have heard of Marcus Aurelius.
Classic. It is a must read. The Bible, clearly. Got to stick with that. So like I said, guys, get yourselves involved in some communities that can help you succeed, whether it be Christian communities or even jujitsu or softball or whatever. Find
Yeah,
a
something.
place
Get
where there's
active in something.
healthy people who are really working hard to better themselves or have like common goals or things like that. But I just don't want to see young people be miserable anymore. And I also don't want to see, unfortunately, these young men be out here like all women are whores and women are terrible, they're the worst, blah blah blah. It takes strong men to fix this, and it takes strong women to fix this, and that
Yeah.
comes down to personal decisions. Each and every one person must do it in order to bring the group up. So
Yes, that's true.
if you guys have any more questions on that, I have a plethora of research that I've done. I'd be more than willing to share anything I know, any knowledge I've acquired in the last couple weeks.
Yes,
Studying
comment
this.
down below if you have any questions for John.
And
Definitely.
that'll wrap that up. I don't want to bang the drum too much longer, but
Okay.
I thought it was a really important topic to touch on.
No,
this
that's
week.
a very good topic. I'm glad I heard that.
All right, what you got
Well, we
next
can go
for
on
us?
to our next topic.